one of our members in the private investor club that we have here at Taylor Capital. And that question was about protection. Probably one of the most important things. After you learn how to multiply your money and have a great offense strategy, you need a great defense strategy. And that's all about protection. And he asked, how do you protect your assets, your business, your income, your family, your legacy? And how do you do that, kind of like the rich have been doing for centuries? Hey, before we get to that question, if you want to know more on how to protect, grow, and multiply your money, investing in businesses and commercial real estate, even if you have no time, then go check out The Game of Wealth. Now go on, smash that bell icon, give me some love. Now let's get back to that question. Hey guys, got another question from one of our members in the private investor club that we have here at Taylor Capital. And that question was about protection. Probably one of the most important things. After you learn how to multiply your money and have a great offense strategy, you need a great defense strategy. And that's all about protection. And he asked, how do you protect your assets, your business, your income, your family, your legacy? And how do you do that, kind of like the rich have been doing for centuries? And let me tell you a story that maybe I'll give you a little insight as to how the rich did it back in the day. And it's really all about castles, moats, and drawbridges. And what are castles in reference to asset protection, income protection? Well, castles are like your assets, your business, your income streams, and they need protected. So back in the day, the Crusaders, obviously 1,000 years ago, before they went off to they already had moats around their castles. They already had drawbridges. And they added another element to that we'll get to at the end of this video. So stick around till the end. So castles, what are they? As I said, they're assets, they're businesses, they're income that you want to protect. And usually back in the day, they would protect that with a moat. And then they would have the ultimate protection after the moat, obviously being the drawbridge. Now, what is that in context to today, the modern day world of asset protection? It's called business group structuring. And this is something that we all need to move our need into a must, because when you get this right, you're protecting your assets for not just yourself from creditors, predators, HMRC, death, divorce, and the good old tax man. You're protecting them against competitors. You can protect them against, transgenerational. The most important thing, probably death taxes. And if you're anything like my age, that's on your mind right now. So castles, back to that. Protecting castle with moats. What is the equivalent of a moat these days? A moat is basically asset protection. Now what is that? It's really separating assets from potential or contingent liabilities. What does that mean? It really means this: if you've got all your eggs in one basket, it's really about separating that. So maybe you have a property, and maybe this property's in a company over here, or it should be. And maybe you have another entity to manage that property, and therefore there's a legal agreement which effectively is a drawbridge that you can pull up and down at any time, and will protect you from someone piercing the corporate veil. How is that possible? It's possible because that's a legal agreement. It's a contract between two separate legal parties. And if you're in assets in one vehicle and you've got all your management going on, potentially staff, customers, team, contractors, professionals, whoever you contract with that could turn into potentially not your best friend, then you always want that separate from your asset holding entity. And I've got a rule, and the rule is never have assets sleeping with liabilities. Always keep them apart. And the piece that really pulls this all together are the contracts. So you need your understand business group structuring, and then how they work together to create tax efficiencies, because different group structures create different tax efficiencies. For example, companies, as we all know, you got PAYE, you're taxed every month. Yeah. You're taxed every year, 9 months after your year end with corporation tax, and that's cool. But do you understand that an LLP is taxed completely different, both in the amount of tax and when it is taxed, most importantly? And if you get the balance right between multiple business group structuring, you can save tax, have cash build up, and pay obviously less tax and create more cash flow. Now what does that do? It increases the value of your business. Why? Because you're increasing the profits. More profits is more value. What does that do? De-risks your business. So mastering business group structuring, which is the modern day version of castles, moats, and drawbridge is absolutely critical to master in this day and age. You owe it to your family. You want to learn how? If you don't know just now and you want to learn how, that's what we do in Taylor Capital's Game of Wealth. So why don't you pop on in, and we're looking forward to having a chat next time we're live. We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Hey guys. Why are you laughing?
I was just saying you look better with the mojito in your head.
Absolutely. Take two.
Take two. All right, and go. Do you want to start from the back or?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.